Welcome to Find the Connection, the podcast where we explore the history, development, events, and stories that make Northeast Florida so inviting. I'm your host, Kendra Robertson, a real estate professional, community leader, wellness ambassador, and proud resident of Jacksonville Beach for over 30 years. In each episode, we'll dive into the stories of the people that are making a difference, both at a local level and nationally. We'll share an inside look at real estate with tips for maintaining work-life balance, from winning your mornings to winning your day, all while staying connected with our vibrant local community. So grab your coffee, get comfortable, and let's find the connection between community and living your best life. Thank you, Bill, for joining me today. I have Bill Devore as my guest. He is out of the Keller Williams office in Asheville, North Carolina. I am a Keller Williams wellness ambassador. Bill is a Keller Williams luxury ambassador.
Yes.
You have been in the business how many years?
This is my 6th year.
6th year, yes.
Yep.
And you are crushing it. So for the general client, give me an overview of the Keller Williams Luxury. I'm an earned-in agent, you're earned in, but you're, as an ambassador, you're participating on a whole new level. So talk about just the advantages as someone that you're working with, a seller or buyer.
Yep, absolutely. So I walk into most appointments and say, hey, I am earned in. There's out of 180,000 Keller Williams agents, there's 15,000 earned in. They have met the requirements to participate and be a part of Keller Williams Luxury. And then the next level of that is KW Luxury Pro. That is about 350 of those 15,000 that have decided to pay. So earn in, you don't pay. KW Luxury Pro, you pay. It's about another royalty, is $3,000 a year to be a part of it for an additional referral network, events and experiences and learning opportunities. So I'm on the cutting edge of learning what is working for other people right now, getting to spend time with Brady Sandall, Caroline Quo, and different events and experiences. But that is a curated group of luxury agents who I can take listings to and see who has a buyer. And then the next level, being ambassadors that we are, there's about 36 or 40, somewhere in there right now, we keep adding. That's a different level. That's the next group of KW luxury that is doing luxury at the highest level. And those people I get to network with and I get to take listings to, and they may have a buyer for your property. And I think that's what sets me apart from anyone else.
Well, and you have mastered the art of referral. I mean, when people think of luxury, they think of you. When they think of North Carolina, they think of you. What have you done to get to that level?
Yeah, so great. So I have created a surprise and delight. So for my clients, they get surprised and delighted throughout the entire transaction. So from first introduction to signing of the paperwork, they get gifts throughout the transaction from me. Does that make the house sell any faster? Absolutely not. However, when you go to the Ritz-Carlton, you expect an experience that is second to none. You're going to get the same thing when you hire me to be your agent. So after the due diligence period in North Carolina, that's our inspection period, you get a cross pin. It's a brand of pin that it just feels right. It writes smooth. It's about a $40, $50 pin. And the note card with it, it comes and says it's pre-packaged. It's about the presentation of it. There's so many different things that I really like about it, but it says, congratulations, you've made it past a major milestone. Now you have a pen to sign your closing documents.
Love it.
And they don't anticipate it. And sometimes it gets mailed to them because most of my sellers don't even live here. And that is just a nice added touch for people. And that's why they go, and I create raving fans. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about. And it's creating that experience for people that it's not just about selling your house. It's about being there. It's your lifestyle consultant. That's, at the end of the day, that's what we are.
Right.
And I can help you when you called and asked what's the best restaurant in town. Where do we need to go? Here,
Right.
that's happened twice in like the last couple of months. Where do I have a big family. One person had a big family in town, another agent, and they're like, where do we need to go for the big family?
Yeah,
There's
so
no,
for those of you listening, I was visiting his area recently and text him, "Hey, where can we go?"
yeah.
And yes,
So
you responded immediately.
So, that's what's important. And it's the network of people. I think that's why I love KW Luxury. And, wellness too. I think the wellness group is a really close-knit group of people that are all on the same common goals, journeys, everything that I'm looking for, they're doing. And then so I think that's how I equate it to. There's 180,000 people. You can get lost when you go to a family reunion and there's 25,000 people. That's
Right.
overwhelming. I'm a people person, but I get peopled out. But I can go find my network within the network.
It really does make a difference. It makes a difference to be on those mastermind calls and the different calls throughout the nation, international, and then to actually meet people in person. It does make it feel like a family. It makes it feel like a smaller network, and it definitely helps in that kind of growing within Keller Williams. I think sometimes I see on a local level, people are just ready to jump brokerages. And yet I feel like when I was a new agent, I was voted most engaged agent one of my first couple of years. Of course, I'm laughing. I didn't really get it what it was. I'm like, I'm not even dating. What do you mean most engaged? But I was going to every class, trying to learn as much as I can. And then I discovered KW on a national level and still learning so much. It is, yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, I think that, and then the partnership with Michael Lewis Marketing Suite. I think that is marketing the property on a different level. Now I have curated content for me that is going to help showcase that listing better.
So
And
explain
that,
how you use that.
yep. So Michael Lewis and I have a friendship today as well. But I was connected through luxury, and he has created my just solds, my under contracts, my just listeds, my brochures, my property flyers. Everything is a one-stop shop, and it's through him. And for a nominal fee, and then I pay for printing, but it's all done for me. And then I can have as many revisions as I want. That's a win for me. I don't have to really do the work. I'm not there sitting there at 9 o'clock at night trying to come up with a flyer. He's doing it for me,
Right. You're
and
leveraging your time for sure.
yeah. So, and it's great stuff. Like they sat down with me and, they, designed what I wanted it to look like. So it was very, very helpful for me. And it's just, I was going in other listings and seeing that they had content and stuff on there. We needed to do the same, and that's it. And they met me where I needed them to meet me,
Right.
there's the beauty of it today.
So you started out as a single agent, but you have a team. I think you're the only agent. I may be wrong.
Nope, I am. Yep, there's one, myself and an admin. So yep, I did
Okay.
a lot of this by myself, and now she's helped me scale and get bigger. So she's going with me on every appointment. She's going with me. She's doing all of the back end stuff that, that's not what I need to be doing. I need to be going out and meeting new people and bringing more business in, and that allows me to do that. So
Right.
it's just myself. I'm the only producing agent, but she's licensed as well, so she can pretty much be me when it's not me.
So you were a golfer, is that right?
I was been a PGA professional for 11 years.
For 11 years. And how did you transition into real estate?
Yep. So great question. That can kind of go into my story a little bit here. It's I did that for a long time. I have a degree in professional golf management. I thought I was going to be the golf pro, teaching pro, everything for the rest of my life. Like I loved it until I didn't. Until I got in and recognized what it really was. I met great people. I've done a lot of cool things in the golf business, but I think a prerequisite was to be an alcoholic. And I did that really, really well. I mean, I drank every day. I became drugs and drinking, and miserable. Like I hated myself. I hated everything. I got fired for showing up 5 hours late. Like, you just can't do that. I know that. I'm the first one at the office and the last one to leave on most days. I was here at 7:45 this morning, and I'm here on the weekends. Someone came in the other day and said, "Why is Bill here on the weekend?" I said, "Because that's what I do." But let's see, one night I was going 110 miles an hour down the interstate and totaled my car. And that was the lowest point that I think I've been. I didn't want to be here anymore. I didn't want to be alive. I walked across traffic that night just to end my life. Whatever faith-based anybody has, God did for me in that moment what I couldn't do for myself. Like he kept pushing me across. And I did it multiple times, and then walked in the woods and fell in a ravine 35 foot straight to the bottom.
And survived that.
And survived. I came out with a scratch above my eye. That was it. Now I just have a bunch of wrinkles. But I had the scratch right there, and that was my second DUI. Went to jail, had an extended stay there. I am not cut out for that life. 7 days in jail, and then I got out. I went to rehab, 30-day program, and they said, "Where do you want to move to?" Asheville or Wilmington were both great recovery communities, and the beach sounded fun. I said I need to do the opposite of fun. I did. That is exactly what I told that counselor in that rehab. I said, I personally need to do the opposite of fun. I'd never been to Asheville. I'd never been to the mountains. I hated the mountains growing up. My parents loved the mountains. I hated it. And today I can say the mountains are the best. That was the best decision I've ever made in my life, was to move to Asheville, North Carolina and start over. And he got dropped off. Didn't have a car, didn't have a driver's license. I had nothing for 537 days.
That's what I love about the fact that you started real estate without a car, and it's like you did the impossible. Like there's no excuses. If Bill can sell real estate without having a car, tell us about that.
Yeah. So got dropped off, and my mom said I don't think you're going to make it. And on paper, that's actually how it looked. I probably shouldn't have made it, but I came in and I did what I needed to do. I worked at Chick-fil-A. My first home sale came to the Chick-fil-A drive-through line every day. They got their 2 large diet lemonades, and I got to know them. And they bought a house, and then I break my own anonymity. I'm really involved in AA, and my second one came from there. I sold like $1 million worth of business in the first month. And I got to quit Chick-fil-A. But I worked. I would catch the 5:15 bus to get there by 8. And then I would walk 30 minutes from Chick-fil-A at 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 30 minutes to the downtown office at Keller Williams, and would work from 3:30 to 7:30. That was my day every day. And that was Stephen Cooley. He's in Charlotte. I just got off the phone with him. He believed in me more than I believed in myself. And I think that's the unlimited thinking of Keller Williams. There is no limits to what you can do if you're willing to put in the work.
At what point did Brady take you under his wing?
Yep. So that's a good question too. So I was selling, Ubering. That's how I met my wife. My wife was my Uber driver, most expensive Uber ride we've ever taken, hands down. Really high, 6 figures high. And then we have a 3-year-old. But Brady, I was living in a basement apartment, and I had reached out on the KW Luxury official Facebook group, and I just said, hey, I raised my hand. I just said, hey, I want to learn luxury, and I want to sell more luxury. Who can help me? And someone said, you need to talk to Brady Sandahl. It was right when he joined, right when he became the director of growth. And I'll be darned, I looked down and it's Palm Springs calling me on my phone.
Wow.
And Brady called and he talked to me for like 30 minutes. And I'm like, oh, what is this going to do? It's not going to go anywhere, blah, blah, blah. He's just doing what he needs to do. Mm-hmm. Well, no, he didn't. He kept following it. Like, he just kept following. I kind of told him the same story that I just told you. I said, I don't even know what I'm doing. I don't even have a car. But I sold a luxury property. I sold one. They were a floor duty walk-in.
Wow.
I'm speaking of that right now. That's who's calling me. of all people.
That's so funny.
But it was he did, and he just followed up, and he cared, and he walked me through what to do. He said, here's my GPS. He sent me his team's GPS on what they do.
Wow.
And you're thinking that it's going to be this wild, robust, the secret is going to be in there. You want to know what the secret was? Talking to people. That was it. And I'm like, this can't be all that it is. This can't be it.
Well,
That's
and
all.
in a tough market, that's where people tend to isolate. So yes, that's a big reminder that
It's building relationships. That's it. Build the relationships and learn to speak how luxury can go to a Ritz-Carlton, go and experience what luxury is. And that's what I did. And I just kept doing it and kept doing it. And there was years where it was like, okay, when is it ever going to click? And you just keep doing it. Just sort of like our sobriety. 7 years later, I'm seeing the benefits of the stuff I did on year one.
it just gets better.
It
Correct.
just gets better. Just like with our real estate business, it gets better.
Yeah, I think Brady's been out to Jacksonville a few times. Every time I've been to family reunion or spring masterminds or mega camp, he is so nurturing, but he also just has systems in place and systems worth sharing. But yeah,
Yeah.
just talking to people, that's so Brady to say, yeah, it's just, in fact, I
Building
think the last mastermind I was in, he said, like, talk to 5 vendors, talk to 5 other agents, not just clients, but people within your world. And I've done a better job at doing that, reaching out to other lenders or even finding the handymans that can help me.
That's it. That's it. So yeah, so he really did. And he's been there. He put me in the regional ambassador role. And that really put me in an opportunity to grow. Was I doing luxury at the level that I'm doing now? We can argue back and forth, probably not. But it put me in the rooms with the people who were doing what I wanted to be doing. It was uncomfortable. Oh, it was very uncomfortable because you're like, you question, am I good enough for this? Like, is this why am I here? And yes, you are meant to be here. And any room that anyone gets in that's listening to this right now, yeah. And people ask me all the time, can I sell luxury real estate? Yes. Yes. I didn't have a car. I was fresh out of jail and I was selling luxury real estate. It's the same, and everyone for me I sell the $150,000 double wide too. So don't think that everyone thinks, oh, Bill only sells this. That's not the case either. I sell
It's
it all.
giving the same level of service to that double wide that you do to the luxury level.
Absolutely. And that is, at the end of the day, that's my life mission. I tell people all the time, I sell houses for fun and I change lives for a living.
So houses for fun and change lives for a living. I had interviewed Shelley with KW Clarity, and in that interview, I was like, I can't remember what Bill's slogan is. So thank you for reminding me.
And that's it. I share my story. It's amazing how many clients have called me and said, hey, I know you sold us a house, but my son or my daughter can't quit drinking. Can you help with that too? There's my mission in life. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, so I have started to get that as well because I've been sharing my story as a wellness ambassador, and very involved. Well, I kicked off KW Yoga with Tyra Amira out of Colorado. But as you know, I've been very involved in the KW Clarity community. So I've been sharing my story regionally and also a little more personally, but I've had clients reach out to me with the same thing, and it feels really good to be able to help them on a different level and to have that presence out there that they know they can come to me. Even my healthcare provider, who has been with me like on every step of the journey, she will refer her patients to me. She'll say, hey, I gave your number to a patient, and it's been great. But you've done a really nice job of sharing that story and opening, the opportunity.
Thank you. And it's just actually, it reminds me, it's a reminder to me of what it was like. Because not that I'm going to drink today, because I'm not, but times get tough. man, like our initial thought is, how can I change? I want to change this right now. I want to change how I feel right now. Alcohol changes how I feel right now. But then you have to think I say it all the time, you got to think the first drink all the way through to the end. What is that drink going to do for me today? It's going to be a volcano erupting because my alcoholism is doing one-arm push-ups in the parking lot, waiting for me to screw up. And it's ready to come back roaring worse than ever.
It just gets better every day. And people that are first starting that journey of giving up the alcohol or the drugs or whatever they're trying to get rid of, it just gets easier every day. It really does. The further away I get from it. But it not that I want to hear everyone's sob story, but it is a reminder. Yeah, I don't want to go there for sure.
And it's like, I think it was at that spring mastermind where we met in that little restaurant and we had our own little mini meeting right there. That is the things today that's like, no one else has that, but like our community.
Well, and the Keller Williams Clarity community, because I didn't do the AA route and I am very open and AA is very anonymous. I know that some people have had a hard time with embracing that Keller Williams Clarity community. But at one of the family reunions, we had a sober soiree, and I met an agent that wasn't alcohol-free. He was sober curious, and I kept in touch with him. He actually left Keller Williams at one point. We still kept in touch, and he is a year now alcohol-free. And it's just how crazy just that tangled web we weave of meeting and being in the right place for someone, to just be supportive and make it happen.
Absolutely. It is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it was great meeting you in person for the first time, having shared, in that Clarity community. So what have we not talked about that you want to share?
So yeah, I think, you've mentioned it a couple of times, and I don't think you're the only one who's feeling tough market right now.
My ego was bruised, and it took me a while to learn how to counsel my sellers in this hard market. Yes. So
here's, I want to leave you with, and the listeners with five points, 5 things that you can action items that we can use to put into our business today. And they're not earth-shatteringly like crazy, but they're just something to think about and say, oh, it's getting back to the basics right now. Talking to people, having the conversations. And number 1 here, control the controllables. When the market gets tough, the temptation is to focus on what's broken. Interest rates, days on market, inventory. We can't control the headlines either. I can't control any of that. I can control my activities though. I can control my attitude, and I can control my effort. I can control me. Just like in my sobriety, same thing. I can get mad at someone. Kellyanne and I can have a fight. I can't control her. I have tried for 4 years, but I can't control her. And, it's those 3 things, my activities, my attitude, and my effort, move the needle more than worrying about the inventory right now. I just need to have clear expectation conversations with my sellers right now on the front end. And some of my ones that listed in the beginning of the year and the market was already spinning out of control and we saw it, but we didn't want to, the elephant was in the room, but we didn't want to address the elephant right now. We have to address it now. Owning your calendar, number 2. Time blocking isn't about being rigid. It's about being intentional. Mm-hmm. We have to follow the calendar. We have to protect our lead generation time, our follow-up time, and our learning time. Learning is most important right now. That's coming up next. When my calendar matters, that says I matter, that says my clients matter, and that says my future matters. So number 3 is training in the dark. We're in the dark right now. It feels rough, so that we can shine later when opportunity comes knocking on the door. Tough times are training times. When I first got into the business, it was training. I took the Greyhound bus 9 hours to listen to Gene Rivers talk.
I love Gene, yeah.
And while others are sitting back right now, because this is the opportunity for you and me and everyone else listening right now. Here's the opportunity of they're sitting back waiting for the market to shift. You're going to be preparing for the market that's coming soon. Train, know the market, master negotiations. When opportunity shows up, you're going to be prepared to capture it. That's first and foremost. And number 3, doubling down on people. This gets right back to what we talked about first, controlling. In uncertain markets, people don't need necessarily more information. They need better leadership. They need us to be there for them, and they need us to help make sense of the noise that's around us, because there's so much noise everywhere.
Right.
Pick up how are you doing? How are you? Checking in on your people. I'm guilty. Brady and I were talking about it. I don't call. For a minute there, I didn't have to call on my sellers because they were under contract in 2.7 seconds. Now it's 90 to 100, 120, 180
Right.
days. We got to talk to them. And then last, I think this goes across the board for any industry, but protecting our energy. Right now, our energy is the most valuable currency that we have. And if you show up drained and defeated and distracted, your business feels it. You have felt it. You said it. You felt that.
Right.
But if you show up strong, centered, and focused, you become magnetic. So that means health routines, mental health routines, faith, and family. I was sitting in on a counseling session yesterday, and she brought it to my attention, and I was like, ugh. Like, they have to be, like, my business is, of course, important, but they have to be just as important too. Family and friends and everything else. It goes back to the calendar. What's on the calendar first?
Right.
My church and AA meetings go on the calendar first. Family needs to start going on the calendar too. Like, they don't need to get, just because I'm working so hard to build a life for them, I still have to spend time with them.
Right.
So protecting that energy. So those 5 things: controlling what you can control, owning your calendar, training in the dark times so that you can show up in the light times, doubling down on your people, providing great leadership to them, and protecting your energy. And I think those 5 things that if you take and really implement, the sky's the limit, and you're not going to feel as overwhelmed.
I love it. I broke through my unhealthy decade, and in putting systems in place, a lot of that was my wellness community or my wellness journey. And I had a tough year. I think Jacksonville, Florida, we stalled last summer. So I had a house that was in a 55 and up community that was, one of 5 floor plans. And we were on the market, and I kept seeing another agent dropping the price. And I'm like, well, it can't be price. He's been on the market as long as I have, until he wasn't, and then I was delayed. I was reacting too slowly. So now this summer, when I got incredibly busy, I was a lot smarter in, look, we don't want to be on the market longer than 100 days. So yeah, I'm willing to start here, but we might end up here. So we've got to work our way towards that, So I did much better, but then in that realm, I got really, really busy as a single agent, but I kept doing my physical routines. I made it to yoga. My sunrise swim in the ocean never gets interrupted. Nobody needs me at sunrise, so that's easy to get done. But I didn't stop doing the baseline of what I needed to be energetic and be focused on my business. And I think that really helped, because I think a lot of people get hit with, I'm so busy, and everything collapses. They don't see their family, they don't take care of themselves, and then they find themselves, So I think having that base and having the support of the wellness community within Keller Williams makes a huge difference. But you're right, I found myself a little self-isolating in this past year, and very easily. So I love those 5 points. I think that is wonderful.
Thank you. Well,
thank you so much for joining me today. So good to see you.
Guys, it's great to see you too.
Thanks for listening to Find the Connection. I hope today's episode gave you some helpful insights and inspired you to get involved in your community. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe and leave a review. It helps others find us. And if you're interested in making a move or learning more about Northeast Florida, reach out to me anytime. Let's keep finding the connection together. Until next time, stay connected and keep thriving.